Welcome back, chaps. How are we going?
Welcome back,
You seem to be missing someone. Oh, here he is.
Hey chaps, welcome back.
Late to the party.
Bright and
as
early.
usual. Bright and early.
Alright boys, bright and early. How we all doing? Hen?
Not too bad.
Good
Not
to
too
see.
bad at all, lads.
So,
Alright, let's kick it off with Nettie. So what are we calling this? By 4 PM he'll be day 8. So day 7. No, day 8. Well and truly day 8. By 4 PM it would be day 9. Because he started last Friday. So where's he at, Hen? What's the live counter? 120? I mean, 1,120.
1,020.
1,130, lads.
Oh,
Bang.
okay.
He is charging this morning, last I checked. He is
2
moving
million.
fast.
2 million tuned in on the live stream. Everyone's behind him. The crowd's open, I think, from 10 AM to 10 PM today.
You mean there's 2 million people live streaming right now, or 2 million people
No,
live
it's total.
live stream? Yeah. Okay.
Total.
Gotcha.
Total.
Alright. So,
Yeah, I was watching the Chocky Milk Shoeies last night on the live chat. The Shep boys. It was good to see.
Yeah, it's
good
a
to
couple
see.
battlers kind of giving commentary. You do love to see it. I don't know. I would
Donations just
like
did
a bit more
800k.
behind the scenes. I think they could have done a bit more about, like, in the aid stubs, what they're doing nutrition-wise and all that. A bit more of a detailed breakdown. But
yeah.
They
Let's
can't
deep dive
reveal all
into
of
the
their
nutrition.
secrets.
I want more, like, once he finishes, what that recovery looks like from when he gets back going again.
Mm-mm.
Is he immediately
It's
just in
it's
the
not pretty, yeah.
ice bath?
Well, honestly, I agree with him. It would be nice to know for everyone else that's looking to do this challenge what he's running, what he's trying to do, like what he's trying to achieve. And obviously,
Yeah,
like,
because we
this
just
is-
see him out on the track.
yeah,
And just like
You don't know
really
what fuel
how
he's in.
hard it is.
like
Yeah.
for the the average punter who wants to have a crack at this challenge, they have no clue now.
It
So
might
what's it
suck
take
a
to
bit
run
more
this
of the
place?
hate. What's it take?
Yeah,
I don't know. Man, I think a pre-rec is probably running from Perth to Sydney.
yeah,
That's probably, you got to get that one sorted first.
yeah. So you give yourself the 30 or the 40 days to get that one done first, and then you try this a bit more speedy challenge. Is that the idea?
Yeah,
Yeah.
more or less. Well, I mean, Yanis, before he'd done this, he'd done a lot of his big records with his 24-hour runs and his 48-hour runs. So I think that would really help build up your endurance because it really takes quite a long time. Like you can get quick fast, but endurance takes a long time to develop and build up. So like with Yanis, he did his big 24 hours, but he was really the 48-hour specialist. And then he'd been doing that for years. And then he went out and did this 10-day challenge.
Yeah, okay.
So, you know what I mean? It's one of those things.
Who's run the furthest in 24 hours?
It was that guy. Recently broke. He got it last year. What's his name, Hen? The Latvian. Estonian? One of those guys from the Baltics.
Well, how far did he run in the 24 hours?
Over 200?
200.
Yeah, was it over 200?
Actually, never mind. I think it was. No, I think he did both. He got the 100-hour. He got the 100k record, and the 24-hour record.
Holy shit. 309.
Yeah, Sorokin.
309
Alexander
kilometers
Sorokin.
at 24 hours. So,
Yeah.
that being said, Nettie can probably get this done. Couple of big 200 days, he gets the job done.
Well, like,
Oh, it'd be
that
250
record's
days.
coming on fresh legs. You know,
Mm.
Nettie's 8 days in, just absolutely
Yeah.
cooked. I think the
So-
furthest he's got is like 170 in a day. And that was like the early days.
So what do you think, boys, thinking he's going to be able to complete this challenge, or there's no chance?
I don't think there's no chance, but realistically, I think he'll get to 1.4, 1.5.
To just be out by a
But
day?
you never know.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. They've transitioned to doing blocks, and he's obviously behind schedule. But he got to the halfway point at 5 days and like 11 hours or so. So he got to the halfway pretty much on time, and then he hit the 1,000 Ks at a respectable time as well. So he's just fallen short a little bit, but tremendous effort all around. And I'm not actually sure what the plan will be once he hits the 10-day mark, if he's going to still push on and get the distance done. I don't know how long they've got the access to the track for, which it will be the other thing, obviously. I mean, Sydney Olympic Park can't just give them that track indefinitely, obviously.
Yeah, I think as soon as it takes over 10 days, that's when they cut it. I don't think they have it longer than that.
But you just run up and down Bondi for a bit, I suppose. Complete the challenge.
Yeah, just
Take
take it
us to Centennial Park. Yeah.
Yeah, just start jogging somewhere else.
Bring it home.
Yeah.
Possibly. Anyway, it's been sensational, and donations of approaching 1 mil now, so it's been monstrous.
And so
Gone
what's
up
he
3
raising?
shoe sizes. He's got all sorts of stress fractures in his shins, and it's just hard to believe you can be out there just pushing through on that track. Like barely any sleep. Like I don't even know what I'm watching at this point. It's horrific.
What's he raising money for, Cuz?
Homelessness. We are mobilised.
Okay. Good on him.
Flick him a few
Well, I
quick,
hope he gets the job done, cuz. A couple of quids, you reckon? They accept international.
Yeah, flick him some quids, cuz.
Okay.
Flick him
We'll
some
throw a couple
quids.
of quids.
Alright, let's get on with it, boys. So, you boys catch up on the US. Where are we at to? What's going on there? I've got a few things to say.
You take us away then, cuz. What do you have to say?
Floor's yours.
Is this a deep dive, cuz?
Well, it's been actually, as far as Newsweek goes, there hasn't been a lot that's actually transpired. So I just wanted to take an opportunity for once to look into a bit of the nitty gritties of the US election policies, and I'll run you boys by a couple of things. So obviously, the Economist did a bit of a deep dive across like the six main topics across them all. And the first thing was obviously there's a pretty stark difference in the tax policy in terms of you guys right there. I'll get rid of
There we go. Yeah, we got you. We got you back, cuz.
I think I should be able to do low data mode. Okay, if I go late, I'll pause uploads. There we go.
There you go, cuz. Well done.
Hold on, guys.
All right, let's just see how it goes. If we have to go dark, we can go dark. Anyways,
Okay.
so firstly, obviously Trump is he's looking at big tax cuts across the board, and Kamala is her main tax cut is actually increasing. Her main strategy is giving, like redistributing some income, with 6K tax credits to newborns, families with newborns, and earned income tax credit, 50K tax deductions for business startups. But she's trying to finance that through increasing the corporate tax rate.
Mm-hmm.
So the main takeaways from there is both of them will actually cost quite a lot of money. So they've said that Trump's tax cuts will cost about 4 trillion, and then Kamala's will be 3.5. And the main thing will be the Kamala's could actually end up slowing GDP growth by about 2%. So my question is to you lads, what's better for the overall economy? Is it better to increase growth of the economy, causing like all of those benefits from that, or is it better to kind of just give direct financial aid to tax credits and stuff but on the flip side you get a slower economy?
Well, cuz,
what's your better strategy?
it really depends. So, what is the idea of both of these sort of plans? Is it to try and lower the actual debt that America's in at the moment, or what are we thinking here? Is that
Do they care about the debt, or are they just trying to boost GDP?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's actually better? Like, if you're the average middle income household, do you want to get tax credits, or do you want to have a healthier economy?
You'd probably want those tax credits. Not gonna lie. If you're a middle, just a middle punter, you don't want
There's too many
those
factors.
tax bennies.
Yeah,
And
at least
you
they
probably-
get cash in my pocket immediately, rather than waiting for long-term future growth. But realistically,
Small business
long-term future
owner?
growth is probably
Maybe
better.
a different story. Obviously, big business owner, definitely a different story. But yeah, just the average punter on the street, low to middle class income owner. definitely wants those tax credits. Get out, buy a new boat, standard stuff.
Yeah, it's a classic argument. Is Trump just catering to his wealthy buddies by cutting corporate tax? Is that actually going to affect the lower socioeconomic status people in across
Was
the
there
states?
any mention in there, cuz, about any of these plans trying to eat into their debt? Because I don't know how many trill in debt America is at the moment, but it's an awful lot.
Yeah, well, the federal deficits could go up to 8%. It's currently at about 6%. So I don't actually know,
So, where are they lending this money from? Well,
how high can it
whoever's
go?
giving
It's always
whoever's giving
every
them the
year
money
pushing
stop.
the debt ceiling higher and higher. What happens?
Well, their economy will eventually plummet because they're just going to keep on printing more and more fucking money. So then their economy.
But that's
value
my
of the
other.
dollar
That's
will
my
just
other thought.
drop.
Is like if I give you 10k, right?
Yep.
Go out and spend it. But then inflation hits harder, and the economy slows, then that 10k devalues, and but then the rich people are still making bulk money anyway, and they're able to weather inflation fine. So your 10k means a lot less to you in those like economic times.
I'm sure inflation's factored into the deficit. But then again, it gets tricky because it's all we owe it to China, like we owe it to a bunch of different countries. I think they have a bunch of different debts across all of it, and then it's just aggregated. But I don't know if they factor in every different country's inflation rate.
And the other thing as well
Sure.
is what good is a tax credit if you're unemployed?
Yeah. You
Yep,
said it
that's
perfectly,
cool.
that goes.
You know what I mean? So
What
it's
more
not
can I
like
say?
you still need a job.
Exactly right.
So if you're if you're torching the economy, because they think that by increasing the corporate tax to 28%, whereas Trump wants to bring it down to 15%, they think that's actually going to have a big stagnating effect on growth, because that's pretty significant margin of difference there.
So,
But they say that
if-
bringing it down or cutting it
yeah.
is going to be
By
more
increasing
beneficial.
it to 28% is going to cut growth significantly.
Why
Because
does
well,
it-
that- that's the thing.
that limits what corporations can do with their spending
investment.
Yeah.
and their investments. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so is that idea of Trump bringing the tax rate down to 15%, is that to increase jobs into America? Because obviously it'd be cheaper to hire.
He's just trying to
people
boost
Attract
exactly.
investment.
Yeah.
manufacturing, everything they keep harping on about. It's designed to like boost the
Yeah,
economy.
increase the tariffs, keep it all in house, attract investment into America.
So
I
they
don't know.
think under Kamala's they could actually result in a lower growth rate of 2%, which is pretty
Yeah, okay.
substantial.
Is that mainly through that attracting investment? And it's like, how'd they get that 2% figure?
They think Kamala's by that corporate tax 28%.
It's all that
They
corporate
think
tax.
that's the main thing. That's the main thing that
Yeah.
they've said anyway. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. Like, you know what I mean? You can harp on about giving tax credits, but if no one can find a job, then like what actual good does that do? Like,
Yeah, you're not wrong.
so yeah, I
Not
feel
wrong,
like
guys.
designing economic policy that's going to keep employment rates high and inflation down is really the best call. But I don't know. It's more long term thinking, and if people are in desperate need because of cost of living crisis now, and they need stuff sorted ASAP, then maybe like short term relief policies are more attractive to the average punter.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
moving on.
Yeah, it's catch-22 right there, cuz.
Clean energy, boys. So both of them they both want to transition to decarbonisation, decarbonise. Trump's just not as aggressive, obviously. The dual baby drill slogans and all the rest of it. He loves it.
Drill.
But it was interesting that both of them want clean energy. They're both supporting that, but Trump's just not as aggressive with it all. But both of them acknowledge the importance of continuing to drill for oil and fracking and all the rest of it. So there's actually not that much difference between the two there.
I don't know. JD's stance on it is a bit questionable. Let's just
JD,
say
yeah.
that this whole climate change exists.
Yeah, so
I think behind the scenes, I think they're coming out being like, we both want clean energy, but you see Trump pulling out of the Paris Agreement.
What sort of clean energy does Trump want? Because what does
I think
he
he just says we want
say?
clean water. We want clean water, clean air. But he doesn't go beyond.
He's come out and he said openly that he doesn't want electric cars in America. He wants to reignite the Detroit and get the the petrol engines going again in America, and then he doesn't want wind farms offshore. So what sort of clean energy is he looking for in America?
I think
I'm a bit confused. Water
turbines. Like, I don't know.
What's that? Tell me what clean energy he wants. Because you're right, Kamala definitely wants all of that stuff, guys. But like maybe like limits on carbon dioxide emissions from power plants and vehicles. That's about it.
I mean, he obviously has mock climate science and EVs, but they don't think he's going to go for. They don't think he's going to undo all of the decarbonising that, like, Biden's pushed through. They think that he's not going to tear all that down. Biden's put in these Chips and Science Act, bipartisan infrastructure law, and the Inflation Reduction Act. Like, these big things, like sweeping industrial policies. They think he's going to he's not going to tear them down. So he's going to leave a lot of that as is and keep it moving. Yeah. So that's. But
he's not doing anything new. He's not coming out saying, I want to do this for climate change. Yeah. Okay. Like Kamala does want to do a few things.
It goes against this kind of point with booming American manufacturing.
Yeah.
You can't come through with sweeping environmental regulations. So I think he's just doing a light touch. Of course, I want clean air, clean water.
Yep.
Let's just keep moving.
Yeah. Yeah. And then defense. That's the thing that's interesting in these debates, is that they never really talk about military spending. And Kamala's saying there's no active war zones and stuff. She's obviously gotten, that's obviously been floating around the press a little bit.
Yep. Now that's changing real fast.
But it's just grossly inaccurate. I mean, did you see those videos of those troops, watching the debate?
That was so good.
Yeah.
Where the fuck are we then? That's a good point, lads. Yeah. Where are we?
Yeah. So both of them actually are thinking there's been cause to increase defense spending from 3 to 5% of GDP. So what does that tell you, boys?
Standard procedure for
I was going to say, nothing new for the US.
Let's get it done. Not the superpower. Not the superpower for no reason.
Yeah.
So
I think
wars are ending.
I think the more they spend on military in America, the better chance you have of getting elected. Like if Trump just came out and said, "Look, we're going to give the military 50% of GDP," everyone would be loving it.
Yeah, there's a reason they don't even touch on it, because everyone just loves it.
Well, you disagree, because...
So if Trump comes out and says we're going to transition to total war...
We're just going to give him... 50% of the budget is going straight to the military. I think a lot of people...
100% of the vote.
Yeah. Probably not 100, but I reckon he gets a good bit of the vote. The more you spend on military, the better.
But that's one thing that's not often debated, because it's kind of bipartisan. But everyone loves military spending.
Business as usual for them. They just know it. We spend so much money anyway. Keep it at it. But they need to stay as a threat. Everyone knows America's a superpower. No one's going to...
Everyone knows offense is the best defense.
Exactly right, guys.
That's it, guys.
Exactly right, guys.
Keep the spending coming to Boeing. Keep those contracts healthy.
It's good for everyone.
Everyone
loves to boom in Boeing share price.
Touch base on the old Boeing investment. How's that going?
Let me just have a quick deep dive on that one, guys.
You check that. Then anyway, they go into Israel, Iran, and Trump's come out and said, "Hit the nuclear first and worry about the rest later." Thoughts on that?
In what context?
Hit Iran's nukes first, then worry about the rest. This is after Iran's...
Is that what Trump said?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Thoughts?
I don't love that.
What would you do?
Why is that a bad idea for us?
It's a strong stance. At least it's an opinion,
yeah, look, at least it's an opinion.
What opinion you got?
It's just... it's gonna break out to chaos. Iran's gonna strike back. Everyone's gonna jump in.
Offense is the best defense.
Israel's already come out and said that's their plan is to hit them anyway.
Yeah, well, it's still up in the air.
Hit the nuclear first and worry about the rest later.
Yeah.
Okay, stop saying that.
If they hit him anyway, it's fine. Worry about it later, guys.
That's true. Maybe they just have to hit it first and worry about it later.
We need to get those numbers up because more military spending means Boeing share price increase because it's down 6% at the moment for the last month, leading at the moment. But wait for the turnaround. This is a long-term investment. This one. We'll be sitting here Christmas time. Boeing's up, a good 10-15%. Everyone will be happy, guys. Especially if Trump gets in, Boeing will skyrocket. They know their money is about to come to them.
Those defense contracts coming in hard.
Yeah.
But it looks like even Kamala is still going to increase it as well.
She's going to go.
Either way, you should be alright.
We'll be sitting pretty. We'll be sitting pretty, boys.
On the Israel-Iran, I did want to actually take a bit of a sidebar because we've been leaving out one of the key figures in all of this, which is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And these guys, pretty instrumental in the kind of geopolitical stability of the region.
I did read a story about that because both sides, arming both sides, get money from both sides. They're quite happy. Is that the same article you read?
Yeah, so what's the news coming out of Riyadh, the capital of Saudi? What are they talking about? Cause
it'll fix itself. There it is.
Cool, good.
Yeah, guys. Alright, so what you said?
What's the news coming out of Riyadh? I'm going low data mode. Pause uploads.
Go for it, guys.
If I go low data mode, it's just Ghost, right? Yeah, we probably should
Ghost.
Thoughts?
Nah. Ghost is terrible.
Alright, I'll reserve Ghost unless it gets desperate, but we might have to go then.
We're still in Ghost, guys.
Yeah, I'll reserve Ghost unless it's desperate. Anyways, so what's happening over there in Saudi? Because what are we talking about?
So let me just do the. Let me get the article up for you guys.
Alright. Essentially, you got it? You go.
Yeah, I got it. So, alright. We're looking at so Saudi are just like, alright, we've got plenty of money. Let's try and make some more of it. So they are supporting a fair bit of the US at the moment and Israel while still supporting a lot of Iran. So it's surprising it's not creating more of a stir. Obviously, the news articles have got a hold of it and they're publishing a lot of articles about it, but you haven't come out, no one's come out from either side at the moment saying, well, the states have said nothing about it, and from what I can tell, Israel has said nothing about it either. So, Iran has said nothing about it either. So, what are your takes, cuz?
It's like the whole US-Saudi agreements. Essentially, they the US wants to make sure Saudi stays on their side.
Yep.
And they're like, don't fund Iran.
Well, they could also just go back to China and be like, if the Saudi has ties with China, if the US pulls out, they're like, okay, I'm just going to become allies with China. So I think that's another big reason why the US is like, let's keep this civil. If you guys go with China,
we're missing one big superpower in there as well, boys. Which you probably would have seen midway through this week with India and America handshake agreement, saying let's go big boys. Just the India Prime Minister came out and he just said, "Welcome to." I forget what he said, but it was some amazing speech about how good the agreement between the US and India will be moving forward. So, look, you've got a whole nother superpower there now.
Is this big business for your manufacturing firm?
Yeah. We're a big fan of it, boys. We're a big fan of it.
So what does it mean? Are they what's the agreement?
It's just that they're going to be doing a lot more business together.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Probably a lot of... Yeah. It's good to see, boys.
Anyway, so as you can see, Saudi's obviously front and center of all of this. And the US says, look, we just don't want you guys funding Iran over here. Because, you guys obviously have got all the cash, and we want to make sure we get some stability in this region. But the further that we get into this conflict, the estimations are that it's going to get costlier and costlier to keep the Saudis on our side.
Mm-hmm.
Because ultimately, like, the Saudis here are just, like, trying to make cash and trying, like, you know what I mean? They don't really care either way.
Of it. Yeah.
They don't really have a horse in this race.
Well, yeah, I was reading this article about it, and they're saying that they're in an agreement to, like, defend Saudi if anything goes, anything bleeds into that region, and to also provide them military. In exchange, Saudi halts their Chinese arms purchases and restricts Chinese investment. So they're kind of so well positioned that, look, let's see your best deal from the States, let's see China's best deal. Okay, we can just pick either. And meanwhile, we're just making all this cash from everything that's going on around us.
Just take both.
If they upset the US too much, though, the US could turn them into an enemy.
We just hit that.
What would happen?
I don't think so. Well, for starters, how much oil comes out of Saudi for the US? How many barrels are coming out? It just seems like really Saudi Arabia can do no wrong.
Could they do some wrong, though?
I don't think so, guys.
Is there a line that they could cross?
They've got too much money. The US needs money.
Too much oil.
And they've got too much oil.
What if, like, hypothetically, US is like, enough's enough, we're coming for you. We'll take your oil, we'll take the whole lot.
Well, then China steps in.
Turns it into another, Iraq, turns it into an Afghanistan sort of situation.
That'll be World War III, because if that happened, it'll be World War III.
Come for the Saudis?
Yeah, there'd be some serious backlash. Iraq probably comes into picture there. They'd be like, well, we'll protect you, just flick some cash our way.
Iraq doesn't have a lot to offer.
Yeah, well, they've got a few forces. They've got jihads. They got a bit going for them, because they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, definitely not invade Saudi.
But is there a line they could cross? Is all I'm asking.
There is no line, because
what is this line?
They're not really
upset negotiations.
Yeah.
Well, what if their price tag's too high, and they're like, you know what?
Let's just
stuff you. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You're clearly siding with Iran in all of this. You're fueling their weapons manufacturing. You're fueling their nukes. Like, and you're back in China. Like, you know what I mean? Is that a possible scenario?
I don't think so.
No. I don't think they want to make any brash decisions. They just want to keep everyone just kind of in agreement.
What you'd be talking
silver
about,
linings.
is that I reckon Saudi would have, well, they obviously do have enough money to probably buy any sort of military force on the planet. So can you imagine the people lining up to just step in?
Mercenaries.
Yeah. It would be a lot of people willing to have a crack here.
Yeah.
Be a lot of black ops sort of stuff going on.
We'll give you some oil. Come defend us. Literally every country will jump at that.
Yeah.
So.
And then US would become the bad guy. And the US doesn't want to become the bad guy.
Yeah. It's the last thing we need.
Yeah. Anyways. Well, yeah, it's all still very up in the air. These kind of US-Saudi agreements, and it's going to cost a lot of money. Fine. Moving on to Ukraine. I think it's exactly what you said, because so far it's been 174 billion in support from the US totals.
Yeah.
Will they join NATO?
Yeah, so I'll have a look at this, guys, because I'm just, to be fair, haven't had too much time to read up on this, but
apparently the US is still the main party that's holding them back from joining NATO. The rest of them are like other 33 or 32 people who members are happy for them to join. Apparently that's what's actually happening.
Okay, so
but behind closed doors, you never know.
So Trump's take on Ukraine and NATO. So the Republican has foreign policy and wants the US to disentangle itself from the conflict. So Trump wants to take a big step back. I know Zelensky very well. I know Putin very well. I think it's in the US interest to get this war finished and just get it done.
Because essentially, if they accept them into NATO, then US is formally at war with Russia.
Mm.
Yeah.
So until they've got a rock solid peace deal in place, I don't think the US wants to do that.
But they're just doing it through the main supplier anyway. So it's like they may as well be at war with Russia. I don't see the big difference that being in NATO makes. And so, besides a formal agreement, they're still the number one supplier. So, I think they should join NATO.
It's all semantics.
Well, so you're on Kamala's side. So Kamala's push is for them to join NATO.
Go out and say it.
Kamala's also for.
I stand for that, guys.
Because this is the truth. This is what you boys are talking about.
I'm saying is, will they join NATO? But the problem is Zelensky wants to re-establish the Ukrainian 1991 borders, which is Crimea as well. So it's like,
yeah, he just asked for too much. Take what you're given.
We all know your views on this, guys.
It's just I know it's where we're all from. That's where our roots are, and you can feel a little bit patriotic about it. Well, maybe a little bit. Maybe it's only a little bit, but not too much more. But but it's just disappointing to see, boys. To be fair, it's disappointing to see. He could have resolved this a long time ago, and you sit here and all it is just a big waste of money, boys.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's why I think joining NATO could be a way to put an end to it.
Yeah.
Because you have the formal backing of so many more countries that will kind of discourage Putin from at least advancing.
What was
you have more countries on side. Well, yeah, that's the thing. But at least they
people are going to die.
It's going to be better than just throwing money at it and just.
I like Trump's approach. Just get the two boys in a room, just hash out a deal.
24 hours, you reckon? He gets it sorted.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised.
Moving on to China. They've said that essentially trade, tech, and Taiwan are going to be the big ticket items here, but no one's really gone. Both of them haven't really come out and said a solid stance there about what how they're feeling. They've said that ByteDance must sell TikTok to an approved owner by January 19, 2025, or it will be banned in the US.
Mm. It's pretty big. Big news.
Realistically, is that something they'll be able to do? And how many approved owners do they even have? What does that even mean?
Is Elon Musk an approved owner?
I think it needs to be does it mean it has to be a US-backed company? Something that
I would think so.
US... So essentially they're just robbing this country of its successful company.
Needs to be Facebook, it need to be Meta, it needs to be Twitter, it need to be someone who's obviously rich enough to buy it for starters. Although TikTok has surpassed all of them, I believe, in value. TikTok is worth a lot more than most of these companies. So.
It's going to be an opportunity for China to send a pretty strong message to the US about this. So I think realistically they're probably not going to do that.
So who came out and said this though? Because I know that there has been this thing that was signed by the bill. There was a bill that was it's come out of where?
The courts.
The courts.
Your downtown
yes.
courts.
But are we saying it is due to the Democratic Party? Is that what it comes down to? Are they the ones pulling the strings here?
Give us the deep dive, guys.
Because
ByteDance.
Yeah, what is
ByteDance owns TikTok. They're the Chinese company.
So they're the Chinese company. They must sell it. Otherwise, the US is going to ban it.
Yeah.
They must sell it to...
Just same thing they did with Huawei. Same thing. They can just ban it. So
but they must sell it to
an approved US approved owner.
Mm. So this has to be the Democratic Party that's coming out with this, then, cause
I don't know if it's party based. I think this is bipartisan thing, so it's not just because I don't think getting Trump in will change anything, is what I'm saying. I think
if Trump gets in,
pushed
could he
through
just
the
call
international courts. Like he could, but
the
I don't know.
courts? Why are the international courts getting caught up in this for? You mean
It's
this?
just
So
like-
it's
it's
just
a
a Senate.
security
It was
breach.
okay.
It goes right up to the top, guys. The top
So it
men.
goes to the president, cuz.
Goes right. I think it's beyond. I think it's deep state.
It's international
It's
courts.
true. There's a few gulags involved. There's a lot going on.
Look, lads, all I know is the deadline, and it's fast approaching. And I don't think China's going to sell. I think they're going to say get stuffed.
No.
And
They won't sell. And
that
nothing
just
will happen,
means
guys.
TikTok.
What the US
gone
cannot
from the
use
US.
TikTok.
They're not going to do that. They're
I agree.
absolutely not going to do that. They've been saying that for
You guys
years
don't
as
even know
well,
what
guys.
ByteDance is.
They've been
ByteDance
saying
is a
that for
company
years.
that owns TikTokers.
Yeah. Fuck ByteDance.
I've heard about that before.
And if they ban in the US, will they ban in Oz?
No.
Because they've been saying this for years.
What does it matter if they're banned in Oz or not? There's no creator fund in Oz, so no one makes fucking money from it anyway.
Yeah. Everyone will just pivot to YouTube
It
Reels.
could save a lot
Yeah,
of boys from
YouTube
brain
Shorts.
rot, is all I'm saying.
Oh, so you're pro. You're pro.
Oh, you're-
man.
You want them to sell.
Well,
you
to be
want them
fair, I was
just
able to
not
watch
sell.
the whole Pereira fight on TikTok. I didn't even know I could do that, so that was pretty awesome.
There you go, because
There you go, guys. Thank ByteDance for that one.
Yeah, I was like, wow, there is some application here instead of just people dancing around on the screen. So he was actually pleasantly surprised. But yeah, and then no one's really said anything about how they're going to feel about Taiwan. I mean, I think no one's really said anything there. So as far as like our, Southeast Asia Sea security goes, no one's really given us their approach to that. So we're very much left in the dark in terms of their policies.
yeah.
But yeah, that was the wrap up. So
I'm
ultimately,
surprised.
yeah, you go ahead.
Just quickly. I was surprised Trump didn't push for that in the whole bring American manufacturing back. They didn't try and lump in semiconductors into that whole conversation.
Yeah, I'm so shocked.
Seems like an
It's a
easy
big
one
one.
to get people on side. Maybe you didn't want to kind of upset the Chinese kind of relationship. I'm not sure. But it seems like an easy win that he could have gone for.
Yeah.
And it seems like an issue they desperately need to kind of address. Because that supply chain is just like extremely
It's fucked. Yeah.
tough to say.
Yeah.
But anyways.
What was the takeaway on crime in the US, cuz? Did you get down to that point?
Rising crime.
Yeah. That was how they're going to fight crime, cuz.
Yeah, who had the better approach to crime?
Yeah.
There wasn't really. I think.
I've got some key
probably
takeaways here if you want.
Lumping that all into immigration, but no, I'd be keen to hear what you have to say, because
Yeah. So Kamala's takeaway. So she's focused on sex trafficking because doesn't want sex trafficking to be done anymore. Rightly so, I guess. So putting a bit of money into that one. Trumpy, on the other hand, he's just trying to get more cops into business. Wants to demolish the drug cartels, get rid of those, crush the gangs, standard stuff, and that's obviously going to take replenishing the police force.
yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So they're both pro fund the cops.
Less, yeah, more.
But more
So-
so from Trump, really.
More so from Trump, yeah. Yeah.
Sex trafficking, like, is that more of a immigration stance there in terms of like those sort of channels? Like, what is she targeting there?
I haven't gone too deep into it because just, her years and years of being a prosecutor have taught her one thing, and that's a strong stance on sex trafficking. And obviously, being a female, it's going to be that way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, to be fair, I still don't really have a resolution to my issues with the bill that Trump didn't pass for the immigration. I think that they wanted that as a talking point, and 8 million illegal crossings in 3 years is pretty insane.
Yeah.
I was reading into the whole healthcare situation. Just got, I don't know if I got more
It's a shocker.
confused.
It's a shocker because
It's just like,
Take us away, Cuz. Take us away, Cuz. What do you got? Cuz?
I don't know what's going on over there. I was like, Obamacare, are you guys for it? Are you guys against it? What's your thoughts?
So her points are this: she's backing Medicare for all, a progressive priority that would make all health care publicly funded. She later walked that position back. Her campaign told the BBC that she would not push for a single payer system if elected. A single payer system if elected to the White House, while the Vice President. The White House has had healthcare successes. It included prescription drugs costs capping insulin prices at $35. So that's pretty good. Insulin prices, Ozempic, that sort of stuff, keeping the cost down, making people thinner. Good for all.
Yeah. I just don't. Yeah, I didn't understand the differences between the two. They both want healthcare for all, but it's kind of the nuance between insurance companies and who they're paying for people with more serious health conditions that they're going to get shafted by higher insurance rates. I'm not sure.
Pre-existing conditions was like the nuance there, which I don't have my head fully wrapped around, to be fair as well. I don't think that I think Trump's radical idea of getting the hospitals to actually publicize their billings and what their actual numbers are would have been insanely effective. Because now it's all behind closed doors. Like in terms of open market, if they could,
so you can shop
actually, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because right now you don't know how much anything's going to cost, and their prices are all behind like opaque things, and no one knows. So you can't actually compare. You can't shop around. You can't do anything.
Well, how does the private and public health system work in the US though? Is there much of a difference in price? Because from what I see, the public is just as expensive as the
it's just as expensive, if not more. I saw in some cases, depending on what you have.
So why would you not go to a private?
Yeah, it's a mess. I think because you have to cop it's like an annual fee, whereas the public you can go in and it's like on the spot. But if you get a serious health issue, that fee ends up being higher.
Yeah.
In the long run, that just depends.
Okay.
Each side is just insanely expensive.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. But reducing everyday medicines is a pretty good first step, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else around the traps, boys, or should we get on to sports?
Oh, let's just touch base on Diddy.
Oh yeah, actually that's a good one. What do you got, Chris?
It's clogging on my For You page, so thought I'd touch on it.
Doing that to distract you from the real issues.
This is the real issue, guys. So the trial's in May next year.
Yeah.
And already, out of all the cases that have been brought on different celebrities, because each of the kind of people in these freak-off white parties, they're building cases around them. Yeah. Already, they're getting shut down, being brought behind closed doors, and settlements are being made already.
Yeah.
So celebrities are coming out and just being like, how much do I need to pay you to shut this all down?
Yeah.
Jay-Z.
Let's get this squared off.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who actually the cases get built around. Because right now, people are just shutting it down left and right.
Wilson.
Yeah. Will we see Wilson? Will we see anything? That's my question.
Just
shut it all down.
Stand on that sort of side of the page. That young filly touchdown in Australia, or he's in Australia at the moment. What's happening there?
So SA'd a couple people in Perth, then came over to Sydney, did a few extra showings, and now he's been extradited back to the UK.
Yeah, okay. So they got it back into the trouble, got arrested. Some YouTuber.
Yeah, YouTuber well across the whole scene. He's got TV shows. He's been with the Royals. He's like huge in the UK, and now it's like
making headlines over here.
His name's Young Philly.
And what is in trouble?
Yeah, he essayed some girls, and now it's like just the classic, just the flooding of cancellations across like YouTube videos.
People ain't happy.
Like, I'm not associated with him.
Yeah, everyone's fine.
Yeah, you got a few big YouTubers as well that are just completely saying they never knew him.
Yeah, the usual thing. All right. What's happening with New York Mayor? Because you've been following that. Any updates there?
No updates at this stage, because that'll be a next week one. I think he is due to make a speech actually sometime next week. So I'll touch base on that one for you. See what the FBI has to say about their findings. Should we touch base on Milton? Hurricane Milton?
Good one.
Anything to say there? What do you got?
Well, the one thing I will say is that this hurricane was, I think, very, very close to breaking mathematics for the actual atmospheric pressure in our world. So it got so low that it would have been beyond what our mathematics could have calculated for our atmosphere. That's how low this pressure system got.
Yeah, it's
what does
intense.
that mean?
So the low pressure that forms...
Break it down for us, kids.
It was getting too low that it wasn't physically possible to be in our atmosphere. It wouldn't have computed.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So this would have been a complete, environmental anomaly.
Yeah, completely. Yeah,
what you're saying.
No one could have done calculations to measure this because it dropped 50 millibars in like an hour, and it was just they were predicting it to keep on falling, and if it fell, I don't know, another 50 or something, it would have been not possible to have that low pressure in our system.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
So how many people ended up evacuating? Because the whole of Florida had to get out of there.
The Florida governor came out and said, if you stay behind, you will die. That's her quote.
Yeah.
You will die if you stay behind. I think it dropped. It didn't end up hitting as a category 5. I think it was a cat 3. Still is pretty brutal. It's definitely more brutal than Helen or Helene or whatever the last one was that came through. So
Katrina.
It's 2008 because that's a while ago. Is it 2008 or was that 2001? When was Katrina?
That was Kanye's big... Yeah, we don't need to repeat that on air. Anyways, moving on to sports.
We made it.
Where are we at, lads?
What are we looking at here, boys? What are we looking at here? Sports.
Let's kick off with Pereira.
Come on, Hen.
So apparently he had a chest infection and he was on antibiotics and he still worked him in the 4th round. Brutal.
Predictions up again. Nowhere to be
Bang
seen.
on the money. Bang on the money. But that's what
Everyone keeps asking me, why is Op the sports guy when he can't make a single prediction?
I've made plenty of predictions because...
Yeah, I've been punching with Op. I've lost 2k. I got texts like that. I've just been like...
But Henry's famous Garside call was pretty bad as well. Let's
true,
not forget that.
Hey, Garside's a legend. I stand by Garside. He's running with Nettie. He's a legend in my books.
So we all make mistakes.
All right. So what was my call again? I forgot what my call was.
You said full round.
And there it is, guys.
Oh, I said full round.
So you don't even think about what you're saying.
That's it. There you go, guys. Oh, I wasn't too far from the result, was I? 4th round knockout.
Yeah, I was actually sweating a little bit. I just had that. I had this going on, and because being like, I told you, lads, we could have guessed it from day one.
It was an easy guess, boys. It was pretty brutal, to be fair.
Can I ask you something? End of round 3, Roundtree's coach was saying something to him, and I was hoping you'd be able to actually interpret this for me. He's saying, if you throw a 3-punch combo, the 3rd round's going to land.
And the 3rd punch is going to land. It's because he was trying to get inside the whole time. Pereira had such a long reach. Roundtree, the smaller guy, had to throw a lot more punches, throw the first 2 or 3 punches, expect them not to land, and then once you move forward and you're inside, the 4th and 5th punches are likely going to land.
I see. So that's just to get him into the strike zone and then hit on the 3rd.
But it was just exhausting for him because he had to be so explosive and quick and just keep rushing forward, throwing 5-6 punch combos. Pereira just backs up and counter punches him each time.
So what was the reach differential between the two?
I think, well, Pereira's 6'4", I think, and I think Roundtree was 6'1" or something. So it's not small, but I think the wingspan was a lot bigger.
That was the big one. The reach is a bit skewed.
Yeah, and Roundtree, like, credit to him, is ranked 8th. Everyone said he didn't even have a chance. He gained a lot of fans. Like, the whole stadium stuck around after the fight was done, which never really happens.
No.
Yeah.
So fair play to him.
Yeah, phenomenal
Good
effort.
on him. Good on him.
We got boxing. Speaking of Saudi Arabia, Bivol versus Berdabiev. I don't know the other guy, but apparently he goes at it. And Bivol's a kind of counter puncher. He fought Canelo recently and beat him.
Okay.
So watch out for that one.
All right.
Sounds pretty good.
When's that? Tomorrow?
Sunday.
Nice.
Yep.
Keen for that.
Sunday. I like it.
All right. What's going on in the Premier League, boys?
No,
you would have enjoyed a couple of
league games
there.
Unfortunately, because you mean this last week? It was pretty good. Arsenal gets up, very very good.
Light work for the team.
It was light work because you're an Arsenal.
I don't know
fan.
who I support. Who do I actually officially support? Am I Man City with them?
You're Man City.
I'm United. I'm not fucking City.
Well, I mean, Bernardo Silva did actually put away a pretty nice goal there.
I don't know. Man City are going to struggle this year, I think, now without Rodri. I don't think they've got. Rodri probably, I'm going to call it right now, is one of the biggest. I'd say he's one of the best players in football. Full stop. Losing Rodri, even this 3-2 to Fulham. They should have probably put Fulham away a lot easier than that. And obviously drawing last week as well to Newcastle. I don't know. I don't think Man City are going to have an easy run where Arsenal... Problem is that they could have lost Saka for quite some time with their game yesterday. England losing to Greece. Saka went down.
Shit.
So Arsenal, that would be a big out for Arsenal. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's the same old story with Arsenal. They start the season strong, and then when it gets to the pointy end, they crumble.
On that Greece game, though, because Bellingham did a pretty good job again.
It could just be the surname, but he did do a very, very good goal because he always comes in for a rescue. I honestly thought it would have ended in a 1-1 draw. Greece just played
Similar
very
story
well.
down in the pub.
Wasn't down the pub, unfortunately, but yeah, I did hear some chairs were thrown. They called me out, boots on the ground. Stools were flying, people are happy. Except for when Greece scored that second goal.
Back on Man City, just quick sidebar. What the hell is going on with that Premier League legal case?
Nothing at the moment, because...
Did you tune out of last week's episode, guys?
Yes, I was completely tuned out of it. It's all going above my head.
So nothing's happening, because...
Yeah. Bring it back around and explain to me in like crayon eating terms. Like what is
so I think the big takeaway from that one is that you've got Man City, who are the richest club in the Prem.
Yeah,
they also have hired the best legal team, and unfortunately, the Prem cannot argue their point across or can't win a case against Man City. So Man City, so the Prem obviously, well, a lot of people want Man City to have their points stripped and have a lot of points stripped for a lot of breaches. I can't name off the top of my head how many hundreds of breaches there are.
It's the breaches of like using excessive funding to buy players
and all that.
Right.
And there's a lot of counts of when they've done this. So, but every time they try and put a case forward, obviously Man City has their own legal team, and it always just equates in a fine instead of losing points.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So it's Man City's on the defence here.
Correct.
Yeah.
I get that makes sense. All right. So right now it's all just going to be bogged down in the courts and probably not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might have to get back to the courts.
Right.
Exactly.
Fair enough. Moving on to that Greece game though.
Yeah, United clutched a 0-0 draw against Villa, so we take that. We take that. It's good to see.
You take those, their wins. What are you boys going to do? Is it just a complete overhaul required for United? You need to start at the top, get rid of Ten Hag, get rid of Xerxes, get rid of Maguire.
These draws, and that's the only thing that's keeping it. Yeah. Maguire should have gone. The thing is, he clutches up for England. So then you're like, maybe he'll be good for United, but it's just
the problem with Maguire though is that United paid whatever it was, £80 million for him, and they wouldn't be able to sell him for a fucking pair of shoes right now. So they're absolutely fucked because they're stuck with this fucking absolutely depreciating asset that they can't get rid of because no one will buy Maguire. He's too old, too slow, and he sucks. And he deserves the hate that he cops. Obviously, one time or another, he was a good player, and he does step up every now and then. But unfortunately, Casemiro as well. You've got Casemiro another real
fucking bought him for so much money, and he's just been absolutely useless.
And Xerxes is
our whole
proving
defense
just nothing.
Our whole defense line is just so hard to watch. Fernandez just getting reds. He's an idiot as well.
But I'll tell you one thing across the pond, or across the river I should say, in Liverpool, everyone hopes you boys keep Ten Hag because, let's just be honest, because United suck ass at the moment.
Everyone hopes. My housemates are cheering when we get a draw. Means Ten Hag staying in. Love to see it. Everyone's cheering.
Yep. How long do you
everyone
think...
loves to hate.
Yeah. How long do you think it's going to take, Maxi, for England to choose a new coach, a new manager after the loss to Greece the other night? Last night, I should say.
Well, I don't know. I think the more pressing question out of all this is what the hell happened to George Baldock? They just found him in a pool.
Found him in a pool?
What's this guys?
Who's this guys?
You boys really aren't paying attention, are you?
Just looked up some niche story.
No, he was the Greek player. They all paid tribute to him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the 23-year-old. Is he 23? 24?
I think it was... I thought he was a bit older. But anyway, regardless, fighting fit guy just found in a pool.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
Wait, what do you mean?
Bit of a West.
Just found in a pool.
Yeah.
Shot dead or just...
No, he was just drowned. Just drowned. Yeah.
In what pool? His home pool?
In Athens, yeah. House pool, just murked. So, Jesus. I don't know how that happens. I really don't know how that happens. Apparently he wasn't even intoxicated. It's just wild.
What about closer to home for you boys anyway? Old Trent Robinson, Roosters coach, out the back in the Hunter Valley, cooking the barbecue up, and the whole barbecue just explodes, sending him and his wife to the hospital. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. They're both okay. They're both okay. Drove home from the Hunter Valley the next day, but pretty shocking scenes apparently.
Yeah, 2 nights in hospital.
Yeah.
Cooking a barbecue and just went bang.
Yeah.
They're airlifted out. That's pretty wild.
Jeez, they got airlifted out.
Yeah.
It's intense.
I think they probably knew who he was.
Yeah.
Possibly. They would have sent the ambulance for him, but he's a Roosters coach, let's sort him out quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is pretty wild.
Yeah, what about the cricket, lads? The cricket. Big game. England versus Pakistan. So Pakistan start the innings off. 550 runs. Good innings, okay. England then come in 880 odd or 50 odd.
Jesus.
Brooksy gets 313 runs, and Root comes through with a good 270 runs, and set a good total. And then they bowl Pakistan out, and so win by a full innings. I don't know if I've ever seen a scoreline like that before, where a team sets at almost 600 and then still loses by a full innings, because England have just gone and scored 800 odd runs. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, how they scoring 800? Is it short oval? What's the
I'm
go?
not sure. It probably would have been, because it was Brooksy had the second fastest triple ton in history. So his strike rate was around 5.5, I think. And England's strike rate as a whole was about 5.5. So near enough a runner ball.
Yeah. Just pumping.
Yeah.
Love to see it, because...
Yeah, you really do. You really do. What are our thoughts on Liam Lawson? Next week's the race. Oh no, sorry, 2 more weeks until they're racing again.
What's
this? It's next week. It is next week, actually.
Yeah, we're back. We're back from the break.
So
I haven't really put a lot of thought into it, because what are like in terms of race predictions and all the rest? I mean,
yeah. Pundits don't have much high hopes for him.
Yeah. Okay.
Where are they racing?
Back in the US.
Straight into the US, because
no.
No. That's Singapore, because...
Yeah, here we go.
I don't know, because I think it's just going to be, like you said, McLaren wipeout.
Yeah. So you don't reckon Verstappen's going to hold out the constructors? Lando comes through, overtakes him?
Staps is, I think he's stuffed. I think that's what everyone's saying. Even he's saying it. The car's shit. So I think it's just McLaren's coming in hot and putting it away for the last couple of races. We've only got a few left anyway. So I would like to see Charles come up strong. Obviously, that's what everyone wants. But I think because you might actually be right for once there.
Look, because you might have called one for the first time as well. Like Charles could get the win, but if he doesn't, then you still haven't called one right. So we'll see how it goes. Cause
yeah, you got to get on the board, Nancy.
I'd love to see you on the board just once, because
I think you had a good run with Celtics, though.
Yeah.
Not even.
And let's get on with it, boys. Before we get onto the big book, I did just want to touch just quickly on the NHL. You boys been watching it pretty strong opening season.
The NHL, the hockey league. What do you mean the NFL?
NHL.
Let's hear it.
A pretty strong turnout for the Leafs against the Devils. 4-2.
Oh my god.
Good to see.
You know, Max Pacioretty, first score of the season, big goal from him, and pretty big goal from Steven Loreno as well. But
Stevie L, getting it done.
That's good to see, cuz
those boys came in hot. I was a little bit worried about after their fucking loss against the Montreal Canadians, but did a good job against
Canadians
the Devils.
Up in the GC, is there, guys?
We all follow the league. I mean, it's pretty big up here. And it's pretty good watching, actually, to be fair.
I'm sure
it's going to be interesting against the
Leafs,
Maple Leafs, Toronto Leafs.
What are they getting?
Aren't they Toronto?
Toronto Maple Leafs, yeah.
Oh, apparently they suck.
Straight out of GC.
That's what the Nog boys were saying. Tough team to follow.
We like the Leafs, alright?
I trust the Nog boys.
And we don't trust the Nog boys, alright? How old are you?
We trust the Nog boys.
I'll give you boys creative license. We don't have to be dedicated to the Leafs, but for now we're following the Leafs.
I'm going the Oilers, boys.
I actually like the Oilers. To be fair, I do like the Oilers. We can keep the Oilers up there. But it's going to be interesting against Pittsburgh Penguins tomorrow.
I don't think so, but we'll see.
What time's
I think the Oilers get the job done there, pretty easily.
No, this is Leafs against Penguins.
Oh, okay. The Leafs against the Penguins. I take the Penguins.
Yeah, I don't like our chances.
Yeah.
I mean, after what they did to the Red Wings, it's going to be tough. I mean, the Rangers did destroy them, 0-6 to be fair, so it might actually not be too hard of a game. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. What about the NFL, boys? What are we looking at there?
What do we got? Who's our team again?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. We Texas?
We're going the Cowboys, yeah. Please, come on.
We're Cowboy.
We know this one.
Nice. Dallas.
So, yeah. So, who are we playing on the... who are we playing this weekend? So, we are playing the... we got the Lions. Tough ask. The Detroit Lions playing well at the moment. We won't get the job done there, unfortunately. But, stranger things have happened.
Yep. How deep into the season are we?
We're into game 6. Yeah, game 6.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just started. Watched a good game last night, though. Timing works out well. Kicks off at around 12 o'clock at night. So Watch the 49ers get the job done over the Seahawks, but good game. Seahawks are playing pretty well at the moment too, so a lot of rushing, a lot of throwing yards being made. Not so much throwing yards. Purdy, I think, didn't get over what his line is, but a lot of rushing yards.
Are you doing the under-overs?
Yeah. Just running a few unders-overs, yeah. Just sorted out.
What do you got for this week, guys? Gonna need a prediction.
Yeah, well, I'll give you the rundown, boys, just so you've got a good one for you. I'm going Packers to win, just straight up money line, nice and easy. I do like the Steelers over the Raiders. Good mismatch there. I like the Steelers defense. Raiders need to struggle on good defensive teams, and taking the Bills over the Jets as well.
Alright, I'll book them in.
Note them down.
Thank you.
Note it down.
Money line. There we go, boys.
Well done, cuz.
Yeah.
Alright, chaps, let's get on with it.
We go on the big book now.
You know what time it is.
Damn.
It's always tough going from sports back to...
I know, it's hard. It's hard.
It's a tough reality. Let's just make this quick, guys.
There's no rush in this, alright?
Give it 30 seconds, please.
Let's just make this quick.
We can't have more Diddy time than fucking Sammy 2 time, alright?
Alright, just take us away, guys. Take us away. Where are we? Fucking hell.
Yeah. What's happened? Where are we now?
Alright, let's get into it. My turn, I'll run you through it. I'll keep it short and
Thank you,
snappy,
guys.
right?
Thank
You guys
you.
have been patient with this. So we're closing out Sammy 2, and obviously, Sammy 1. What's happened there was that we had the first king, which was Saul, arise. This is from a time before that, where the kingdom of Israel was kind of ran by these judges. But then they decided that wasn't really going to work, and they needed a proper king. So that's who Saul was. Yeah. And then we saw David rise up and challenge Saul. And one actually hot take that I heard from around the place with David v Goliath, because Saul had already upset God a few times over at this point in time, and he didn't wait for Samuel to offer sacrifices and different things like that, and he didn't destroy Amalek as well. So God wasn't happy with Saul, and he had already kind of made a few mistakes. But apparently with David v Goliath, Saul should have been the one to challenge Goliath, and he didn't.
It makes sense.
But why?
Well, he was leading at the time, right?
He was the king. He should have been the one. He had Goliath out the front of the Philistines challenging
Some Weasley
everyone.
shepherd comes in.
But how many times does Saul try and take on David?
No, as in he should have been the one to take on
he should have
Goliath.
been to do. Okay, gotcha.
That was, and that could have been his opportunity to redeem himself in the eyes of the Lord, and to get him back on side. Yeah. And it's a pretty powerful thought, a pretty powerful message to send out there. Like, you could be a shambles out there, but you never know, like, what your kind of metaphorical Goliath might be. What's your opportunity to prove yourself again? And are you going to step up to the plate and get it done, or are you going to wait for someone else to come and do it? So pretty strong message.
Well said, cuz. Well said.
When you're going to have your moment.
Yeah, so I think every day there's opportunities like that arise that
absolutely
you need to be mindful of, and you're going to be like Saul, or you're going to be like David. So pretty strong message there, I thought, anyway. So Samuel 2, we're kicking it off.
Where are we starting off at, cuz? So
we start off with
what
David
chapter?
hearing. Well, just the opening chapter 1. David hears of Saul's death, because he wasn't actually there when Saul falls on his sword, and the Amalekite that kills Saul tells David, and then David subsequently kills him. Yeah. So even then, David still has respect for Saul, and he had those opportunities to kill him back in Sammy 1, and he didn't. He's got respect for that king for what he did anyway, and so I think that's a sign of character. Yeah. They appoint a new king, this guy Ishbosheth, who's the son of Saul, and it's the same old story that they've got people siding with David and they've got people siding with Ish, and those two sides are now raging between the two houses.
Yeah.
We see this commander of the House of Saul, Abner, and he is one of like these powerful commanders of the military. He's been through a lot of Saul's battles, and he may or may not take one of Saul's concubines. It's unclear.
Yeah.
But then Ish gets onto him. He's like, you can't be taking my dad's concubines. And Abner's like, you know what? Stuff this.
Why don't want you? Let's do it.
Yeah. So he decides to go and help David.
Yeah.
So that he loses a pretty prominent commander there.
Yeah.
And then we get introduced to Job a little bit, and Job seems to be like one of David's right-hand men. Like he's always there by him whenever he's in a sticky situation. He's always kind of there to help out David. And this progresses where Job actually kills Abner, who's supposedly one of the big commanders here, and he kills him because he believes that he's deceiving David.
Yeah.
So it shows how powerful Job is, and I think Job just murks him like straight up dagger. But
so they agreed to have that one-on-one combat.
Oh, was it? Okay, yeah.
Fine. Yeah.
So it's pretty civil, sort of gentlemanly agreement there.
It's a civil
to the death, boys.
Yeah, let's do this. Go out like men. Fine. Then we see Ish get murdered by Bana and Rehab, who were leaders of the raiding tribes there, and they present the head of Ish to David, who then kills the both of them. Yeah, he's not impressed by those sorts of antics.
Yeah.
So,
good guy, David, thus far. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then from there, he because he kills them, the elders come together and they anoint King David. So from there, David officially becomes king.
Yeah.
And becomes king of Israel, and he reigns for 40 years.
Yeah.
Now, from here, David's living large. He
Yeah.
has like 1 million concubines. He's settled into a pretty good palace down in Jerusalem, and he's got everything sorted. And to be fair, he's done his time. He's done his time running with the Philistines. He's done some pretty big battles. He took on bloody Goliath when he was like 15. So I think he has earned this moment in the sun, and I think it's all very fair. But he does take it a little bit too far. He does this thing from this guy Uriah the Hittite, and he ends up sleeping with his wife, and he sends Uriah to the front lines where Uriah gets killed.
Yep.
And God is displeased by that.
Yep.
It's a pretty smart play. Cover up the affair by killing him in battle. Yeah.
Smart play, but also I was kind of we're not expecting those sorts of antics from David.
You weren't expecting him?
But he seems like a pretty honest, honourable sort of character. And yeah, I don't know what the rules are with concubines and things at those times.
The question I have,
seems like, you know what I mean?
Is why is, again, another female comes into the fold and it's just for an affair. Why do you think it's always so male dominant in these stories, and females always, besides Ruth, it's always affairs or they're prostitutes? Or what's your guys' thoughts on that?
It's the age-old question, guys.
It is the age-old question. I don't know if we're going to get an answer anytime soon, but I'll put it on the back burner because I'm not going to be.
Let's take a deep dive into that one next week, guys. Could you lead the way on that one, please?
So here's one that happens. This is kind of interesting. We see this trend emerge. So David's son dies, and that's from Uriah, because God's displeased. And then he has these people come to talk to him about different situations, and he's the king, so obviously he deals with these misdemeanors and different things that happen. And they tell the story about this rich man and poor man, like with all these multiple lambs and things. And then the rich man ends up taking lambs from the poor man who's only got one single lamb, and he ends up using that lamb as a sacrifice. And this poor man, it was his only lamb, and he nurtured it and everything. And he's like, that's horrible for that rich man. He had heaps of lambs. Like, why did he take that? And then this is all coming from Nathan, who's one of the prophets. Yeah. And then he uses that to say, well, look what you did with Uriah. You had 1 million concubines, and then you chose to take his wife. How do you think that's fair? In that scheme of things. So they kind of show through story and other situations. They kind of use that to reveal the hypocrisy of David's actions. And David's like, you know what? That's pretty fair.
Yeah. Well, see, he prophesies that his family will be gripped by violence, and someone will have affairs with his wives publicly. That's what Nathan prophesies anyway to David.
Yeah. Now we do see from that he has another son called Solomon. They don't really go into details there, but throw away for later chapters, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Solomon is the son of David from Uriah the Hittite's wife. Yeah. She actually does have a name, Bathsheba. So she's to be fair, but they only So, anyways,
Bathsheba is how you say it, cuz.
Thanks, guys.
There you go, cuz.
Now, we see another situation. Amnon rapes his sister Tamar, and then Absalom. Now, I can't remember. Absalom, I think this is just a separate family. Then Absalom ends up killing Amnon because of what he did to Tamar. I think they were brothers or cousins or something. And then Absalom does this, and then he flees. All right.
Yeah.
And actually, I think they were brothers. So then this woman,
yeah. No, you're right.
Brothers, yeah. So then a woman goes to King David. She says, "Look, the two sons had an argument and killed the other. Now he's fled because townspeople want to kill him." And David says he'll be safe if he comes back.
Yeah, that was the one where Absalom is sharing a sheep bow, invites David to come around, have a few beers, the usual stuff. David refuses but sends Ammon and the rest of his sons to him. Absalom holds a feast and gets Ammon drunk, then instructs his servants to kill Ammon in revenge for the rape of his rape of Tamar.
Yeah. Now, this was another situation here to reveal David's hypocrisy. Because apparently David's own son had been banished for committing some sort of crime.
Mm-hmm.
I can't actually remember what that crime was, but then so I'm a little bit lost for a second. But anyway, what happens is that David eventually brings Absalom back, and he's fine. And then we get Absalom emerging into the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his son raped his half-sister. Is that why he got banished? Then Absalom kind of takes matters into his own hands. Where are we, cuz?
Cuz you've lost me now. What are you doing?
Where are we, cuz?
So Joab wants to help David, so he tells a wise woman from Tekoa to travel to Jerusalem, pretending to be in mourning and speak to the king.
Sorry, guys. I got it. I'm sorted.
Go,
sorry, I for a second I was a bit confused. So Amnon was the son of David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so was Absalom. They're two brothers.
Yeah.
And then Tamar was one of their sisters or something.
Yeah.
And Amnon does this, atrocity. Absalom kills him and then gets banished.
Yeah.
Now, what happened is that a servant comes and says some sort of story about a separate incident, right? Where they had two sons, one of them kills the other, and he gets banished. And then David says, no, that son that got banished should come back, he's fine. And then Job, who had devised this plot from the beginning, has said, well, what about Absalom, who's been banished after he killed Amnon? And then that convinced David to bring back Absalom.
Okay.
So that was a similar story with the lambs. They kind of show David through separate incidents some hypocrisy that he's doing, and he brings back Absalom. So Absalom is a bit of a G, handsome guy, obviously very strong and quite confident and hard in his convictions. And he comes back and he wins the hearts of the people of Israel, which is no easy feat considering that they've got David, who's the charmer from day one.
Mm-hmm.
So he returns to Jerusalem, and he asks, and then something happens, and he sleeps with one of his father's concubines.
Yeah.
And then from there, kind of tensions rise. And then he's told not to fight David because David's obviously a great fighter and he'll probably destroy you if you fight him directly.
Yeah.
But then tensions kind of pursue, and we see eventually David's army fights Israel, commanded by Job.
Yeah.
And Job ends up killing Absalom with 3 javelins.
Yeah, so it's a pretty nasty way to go that way. 3 javelins.
Yeah. Job gets it done.
How tall is Job?
Yeah, he's a pretty big lad. I don't know if they ever give dimensions, but he killed Abner, he killed Absalom, he's instrumental to all of this.
Yeah. They don't really go into how big Job was. I'm thinking, plus 7 foot though?
Yeah, it'd be a big lad.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sam.
Cheers,
All right,
guys.
let's wrap this one up, guys.
David mourns Absalom.
Yeah.
Job tells him to get priorities straight.
Yeah.
Let's keep this moving.
He says, Job's not happy. The king is weeping and mourning for Absalom, and for the whole army, the victory that day was turned into mourning, because on that day the troops heard it said, the king is grieving for his son. The men stole into the city that day as men steal, and who are ashamed when they flee from battle. Today you have humiliated all of your men who have just saved your life and the lives of your sons and daughters and the lives of your wives and concubines. You love those who hate you and you hate those who love you. You have made it clear today that the commanders and their men mean nothing to you. I see that you will be pleased if Absalom were alive today and all of us were dead.
Yeah.
Now go out and encourage your men. I swear by the Lord that if you don't go out, not a man will be left with you by nightfall. This will be worse for you than all the calamities that have come on from your youth till now.
Yeah.
So Job's not happy. He tells him off, and tells David to pull his head in. Yeah, Job's a pretty rough guy. I mean, at 29...
He's seen some stuff, guys.
Yeah, he's been around. Job comes up to this guy, Amasa. How are you, my brother? Then Job took Amasa by the beard with his right hand to kiss him. Amasa was not on his guard against the dagger in Job's hand, and Job plunged it into his belly, and his intestines spilled out on the ground. Without being stabbed again, Amasa died. So...
Yeah, it's intense.
It's just not what you want to see, guys.
Now, we do see a big song of praise come out from David, which is like this huge, multi-paged praise. David saying to the Lord the words of his song when the Lord delivered him from the hand of all of his enemies, from the hand of Saul.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty powerful song of praise there. I did want to actually say, there's this scene, Okay, actually, we're coming to it soon. So anyway,
Cool. Let's keep this moving.
It was a big book, right? We're coming to the end. We're coming to the end, right? All the fucking heavy lifting here. So we
20 minutes.
we see a few shout outs of David's mighty warriors. Some of the lads. Joe Sheb, he killed 800 men in one sitting.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a pretty big effort. And then a few of the other lads. Now, God's still not happy with David, and he gives him 3 options. He says you either get 3 years of famine, 3 months of fleeing from your enemies, or 3 days of plague.
Yeah.
Logically, I mean, he kind of makes the right choice there with the plague, I feel. But it was pretty rough plague. 70,000 deaths ensue. And
Yeah.
there's this really powerful scene where 24:16, or 24:15. So the Lord sent a plague on Israel from that morning until the end of the time designated, and 70,000 of the people from Dan to Beersheba died. When the angel stretched out his hand to destroy Jerusalem, the Lord relented concerning the disaster and said to the angel who was afflicting the people, "Enough, withdraw your hand." The angel of the Lord was then at the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite. So when David saw the angel who was striking down the people, he said to the Lord, "I have sinned. I, the shepherd, have done wrong. These are but sheep. What have they done? Let your hands fall on me and my family." So you think of angels as being these loving, entities, but this is an angel of destruction just beaming down, blasting the people, and then wanting to do more damage and turning to Jerusalem.
You see a lot more of that as well. Just in movies nowadays too, that refer to the good book as well. Angels not as good as it seems.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Oh, what's a demon then? I thought angels and
Angels are doing God's work, but for good or wrong reasons.
Is that technically what they are?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, they're deep. Well, they're not. They're demons are controlled.
So they got a bad side.
Yeah. Demons are controlled.
And then demons
by
are
the
just
other
flat
side.
out bad.
Well, they're controlled by Lucifer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they're all Lucifer's workers, and they're just running amok. But the
does that mean they can do good? They have a good side as well, or no? They're just plain bad.
Demons don't
I can't tell you.
good side.
I don't think they do have a good side, but maybe they do.
Angels have a bad side.
Archangels of destruction just beaming down. They won't hold back.
Yeah. Their one job is to just enforce the Lord's wishes.
Yeah, just go to town by any means
That's
necessary.
it.
Ruthless.
Brutal.
Anyway, so when God was like, "Enough."
Yeah.
So a real deep dive, cuz. Keep going. Like, this never ends.
That's good, guys.
Keep going.
Anyways, we close it out. David builds an altar to God.
Yeah.
And after
Was
all
it a
that
good altar?
plague, we get
Couple
wiped
of pillars.
out. Yeah, it was good. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just stock standard. I think everyone was pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
And we close out, and I believe from the end there, David, his time as king is officially over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
good innings for David.
Yeah. Hey, you achieved a lot. Did a lot. Saw a lot.
Yeah, he was
Can't
having a pretty good
complain.
run.
He lasted
to
a
be
lot
fair.
longer than a lot of other people in the book. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think actually it may not be completely over. I think he's from, nothing significant happens. He just rides out the remaining of his years with no significant, and eventually he'll just pass on, succession, sort of.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, pretty big events came through with David. He was a legend from the start. He
Yeah.
made a few slip-ups, but they all do, to be fair. They all do. A couple of big battles. It looks like the power of, the Israeli people there kind of got solidified. They've got formal kings now in place, and the Philistines have been kind of pushed back. We may see him again, I'm not sure.
So does this lead us on to the kings?
Yeah, where do we finish up?
Just go straight to the Kings, eh?
Now we're into Kings. So, yeah.
Big one. All right, so
Mainly.
Kings 1 for next week. I'll take a deep dive on that one for us. Lead the charge.
Kings 1.
Yeah, lead the charge on that one, because
These are all just meaty books. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Kings 1 is 22 chapters. It's not too bad.
Let's allow 45 to an hour for my segment, okay? Kings 1.
Yeah.
Look, we had to do David justice, alright? David's next to Jesus, he's the most mentioned character.
It was fair, because...
It was a good review. I appreciate it.
I just checked in on Eddie. He's coming
let's wrap this up. Where's he at him?
He's coming up on 156 clicks. He's looking strong. 1155.
Bang.
So pushing up to the 1.2, and then it's 400 clicks before Monday.
Easy. Do you reckon you just run non-stop 24 hours?
Yeah, I think it might get
back to back. Just keep going.
Just little pockets of shot.
What would be the first to go? Would your ankles go first, or what goes first?
I think the ankles first.
Ankles go first. Yeah, okay.
Alright, chaps. Thanks for that.
Alright, boys, take care. Look after yourselves. Bye, lads.
Take care, boys.
Thanks, boys.
Bye-bye.